Hey guys, this is a Deku ex listener ex Bakugou. I hope you enjoy. This is a reverse version of my happy ending. I hope you enjoy. I have some warnings for this one. At the beginning, it's a little bit sad, but I promise it has a happy ending. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Life as a superhero was difficult. You didn't have that much time to spend with people you loved, and also you need to keep on track your businesses, your hero agencies, your interns, all of the responsibilities of being a hero. You were allied to Ground Zero's agency since you guys have been best friends since your first year of UA when you met. You are right now at your shared apartment with your boyfriend Izuku Midoriya. Izuku went out to do some groceries and you were left alone. You were just scrolling through social media and other stuff when someone knocked on the door. When you opened, you saw your best friend, Mina Ashido. She said, "Yuan, are you okay?" You look at her with a surprised look and ask, "Why wouldn't I be, Mina?" She showed you her phone. We show a picture of Izuku and a random girl kissing on a bar. You were surprised and you asked in disbelief, "Mina, what is this?" She explained that she just found this picture on the internet that the girl had posted proclaiming that she was the new Pro Hero's lover. You were so surprised and you invited Mina into your house. You started going through articles with her. All articles news, this was center of the news. There were articles like Pro Hero Deku cheated on Pro Hero Yuan and more like that. You were surprised and extremely furious. You were not gonna care about this. First, you're gonna confront him, and then you're gonna resolve to see if it's real or not. It had been 1 hour and Izuku hasn't come back. He just left to do some groceries and he shouldn't be back right now. Mina had to go and she said, "Sorry Yuan, I don't want to leave you at a time like this, but I can't stay. I need to go home, you know?" You agreed with her and said, "Thank you for coming, Mina. If you hadn't shown me this, I shouldn't know what have done." She shook her head. "You're my best friend. I'm always gonna be here for you." She left. You continue looking through articles, showing pictures all about it. Most of the articles were posted today, and it seems the picture of Deku and this random girl kissing have been just uploaded yesterday at night. You were so surprised. A few minutes later, Izuku opened the door and said, "Hey honey, I'm back. I brought the things you wanted from the grocery store." And he stopped while he's sitting on a couch, looking through your computer and asked, "Where are you looking at, babe?" You look up at him in disbelief and show him your laptop to reveal the picture of him and this girl kissing. He asked, "Babe, where did you find that?" You shook your head and said, "Deku, this picture is all on social media, you know that? Everyone has seen this picture. Articles, news, everyone has this." He looked down at the floor and said, "I'm sorry." You look at him in disbelief. "So it's true then?" He looked away from you and said, "Izuku, we have been dating since for a very long time, and you're just gonna mess this up like this? You know how much this hurts me, right? You are an asshole, you know? I have gave you everything in my life. I have spent my worst and best times with you, and you do me like this? Really?" He looked at you and couldn't say a word. He was sorry, he really was. But anything could change that. He already did it, and it was the biggest mistake of his life. You said, "You're unbelievable, Izuku Midoriya." You started heading to your room, and Izuku tried to follow you, but you just pushed him away every time he tried to get close to you. You started packing your stuff, and he said, "Please, Yuan, give another chance. You know we have been together through so much." He tried to grab your hand, but you slapped it away and said, "I don't care. We have been together through so much stuff. You just ruined it by yourself. Why were you at a bar? And why were you with that girl? That was the night you're supposed to be in night patrol?" He shook his head. "I'm sorry, Yuan. Please just listen to me. Answer the damn question, Midoriya." He was surprised that you called him by his last name, but he answered, "It was a night that I went out with Toroki and the guys. They left early and I got drunk and I met this girl. I promise it only happened once. You look at him dead in the eyes and said, "Swear to me it only happened once." He looked at you, wanting to say that it only happened once, but he couldn't. He wanted to give you a hug and tell you that everyone was being fine, but it wasn't. He messed up. He messed up horribly. You just look at him in disbelief. "Tell me the truth, Izuku Midoriya." He said, "It happened 5 months ago. Me and her have a big meeting sometimes. I promise it didn't mean anything. You are the love of my life." You couldn't believe what you were hearing. 5 months, Izuku. 5 months. 5 months of our life. You've been lying to me? He just shook his head again and tried to reach you again, but you froze him, thanks to your quirk. That's called frozen time. You can stop time around any person or object you please. Also, you can stop time completely. You started packing your stuff quickly. And Charlie get out of the apartment. You were waiting outside, and you didn't know, where do I go? Who do I call? You didn't want to call Mina because you knew she just moved into her new apartment with her new boyfriend, so you didn't want to bother them. So you decided to call your best friend, Kazuki Bakugou. You called him and said, "Hey, Katsu." He asked, "Yuan, what the fuck is wrong? You don't sound good." He was always very protective of you. You answered, "Izuku cheated on me." He said, "I'm gonna kill that bastard. Just wait there, Yuan." You said, "Katsuki, no, please don't do anything irrationally. You're a hero. Just come pick me up. I don't have anywhere to stay. I just took all my clothes and I'm outside my apartment buildings." He sighed and said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Wait for me there." After 10 short minutes, Katsuki arrived. He said, "Get in, Damas. We're going back to my house." He started driving and asked, "You sure you don't want me to kill him?" You shook your head. "Katsuki Bakugou, you're a hero. Don't do that. He's gonna regret cheating on me." He asked, "Who did he cheat on?" You showed him the picture of the random girl you didn't know, and he sighed. "You're way prettier than her. It's his loss." You laughed. "That's true." You guys got to his house. He helped you unpack your bags and gave you the spare bedroom and said, "Yuan, if you need anything, my room is there. You already know. And you want to talk about how you feel. I know I'm not best with emotions. I'm not the best for this. But I'm still your best friend. And I'm always going to care for you. You know that, dumbass." You smile. "I know, Katsu. Don't worry about it. But so much of fantastic cooking couldn't get me in a good mood." He laughed. "Of course, I'm the fucking best." He started cooking your favorite dish, and you sat there talking with him. You couldn't remember when was the last time you guys had a long talk like this. You were feeling great. Almost forgot about that whole Izuku situation. Then you look at your phone. They were full of messages from Izuku. You look at your phone in disbelief. Like, why is he texting me? He was the one who cheated. He should move on. You were brought out of your thoughts by Katsuki Bakugou. He served you the food in front of you and said, "Eat, you need to eat because tomorrow you have an important day, shouldn't you?" You laughed. "Yeah, I know, we have that meeting." You and Katsuki's agency were partners and you guys also have a lot of meetings together, so you guys use this time to talk about it. After a long talk about the businesses and all that, and finished dinner, you headed back to your room. You closed the door and saw a lot of notifications about your friends, family, and other people asking if you were alright with what just happened with Izuku. You turned off your phone and changed into your PJs and laid in bed. You just thought, "It's Izuku's loss, not mine. He will never find someone like me, and I'm better without a cheater like that." You fell asleep. The next morning, you were awoken by Katsuki Bakugou. He said, "Wake up, dumbass. We need to get to the agency. Remember, we have the meeting?" You laughed. I know. Let me get into my hero costume." He agreed and went to do the same. You put on your hero costume and wait for Katsuki at the door. When he arrived, you said, "Look who took more time." He just humphed and said, "It's none of your damn business, you know that?" You let out a giggle. and said, yeah, I know. You guys drove to your agency, where the meeting was held. There were a lot of press and paparazzi outside asking if what happened in the breakup, and you said, me and the pro hero Deku just broke up. I don't want to get into details why we did and why anything, just you need to know we're no longer together and you should stay out of our private lives. Then you walk into your agency. Bakugou chuckled and said, as straightforward as always. You gave him a warm smile and said, I know. You swear you saw him blush, but decided not to bother him. You guys entered the conference room and started having the few meetings you had with business owners, other heroes, and other stuff related to your both companies. After that was done, it was time for lunch, which Katsuki had ordered their food from his favorite place to celebrate that the meetings went well. You agreed, but when you guys were in your office eating, your secretary called and said, Miss Yuan, your ex-boyfriend is here to talk to you. You look at her in disbelief and said, what does he want? He said he wants to apologize. Should I let him in or tell him to go away? You look at Katsuki and he nods. Let him in. I want to know what he has to say for himself. She agreed and let the pro hero in some minutes enter. When he entered, he looked at you and said, Yuan, it's nice to see you. You just looked at him with an angry expression and said, what the fuck do you want? He then looked at Katsuki and his face turned into normal to somewhat of an angry frown and said, what is he doing here? You look at him in disbelief and said, he's my business partner, you already know this. And what if he's here? That's none of your business anymore, you know? He looked at you with a sad expression and said, I'm sorry, Joanne, it didn't mean to happen. You know I love you with all my heart, and I will never want us to break up. Please, just take me back. Please, you know I can make this mistake and then make it up to you, please. You laughed and said, what's already done is already done, Izukumi Doria. Just let it go. We broke up. You don't have to be such a crybaby about it. I know you have struggled a lot with becoming a hero and all that, but you cannot have everything you want in life. You and me were in a relationship and you messed it up. You cannot just go back in time and make it better. You need to affront the consequences, and the consequences are that you and me are no longer together and you can go away. Now leave my office. He stood up, said his goodbyes and said, I always love you, Yuan. You just look at him and said, I don't believe that. He left. Then Katsuki looked at you. Hey, Damas, are you okay? You just shook your head and said, I don't know what's with my mind right now. I'm so confused. I don't know if I should feel angry or sad or both. I feel angry and also feel sad, but I don't want to cry about some asshole like that. He doesn't deserve my tears. He doesn't deserve me to get angry, you know? You slowly started to cheer up and started crying slowly. Katsuki quickly ran back to your side and said, Yuan, don't worry. I'll always be here for you. Never gonna let someone hurt you like this again. I promise. You returned the hug and buried your head in his chest. He said, I will kill him if you want. You chuckled. You don't have to. Thank you, Katsuki. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, you know? He laughed. And you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, continue eating your food. And don't cry about some dramas like that. Because you are perfect. You are the best. He is nothing without you. You chuckled. Thank you, Katsuki. You dried away your tears and continue eating. Soon, Katsuki had to leave for his own agency, and you agreed. You said your goodbyes, and you continued doing the paperwork you had left. Soon after, you were done, and you headed back to Katsuki's house. You entered normally and saw Katsuki cooking for you. His cooking was actually the best in the world, for your opinion. You sat down on the couch, and he said, Here, Damas. He passed you the plate of food, and you started eating it. You shortly stopped and got up to grab some water. You said, Katsuki, this is too spicy for me. What did you put in this? He laughed, like you haven't seen him in a long while. And he said, Yuan, you are totally not good with spices, are you? You look away from him and said, I'm great with spices for you to know, sir. You just exaggerate when it comes to spices. He then just looked at you with a grin in his face and said, It's because I like spicy food. What about it? You guys continue eating, having fun, saying jokes. You love spending time with Katsuki like this. Few months had gone by, and you had already gotten over your breakup with Izuku. You felt great. And one night, that it was very late, you and Katsuki were at his hero agency, resolving a crime that just happened some streets nearby. He said, Hey, Yuan. You look at him and said, What is it, Katsu? I know this may be gonna sound crazy, or maybe it's because of the hour and the whole coffee I've drunk to maintain myself alive, but Yuan, can you go on a date with me? You were surprised. Obviously you want to go on a date with him, but you didn't expect it to be at this hour and how he was asking you, but you're still gonna say yes. You look at him and said, Of course I want to go on a date with you, dummy. He then walked up to you and put his hands in your waist and pulled you closer to him. Then he gave you a kiss that lasted a few minutes. You felt like you were in heaven. You couldn't feel happier in that moment. You felt everything go away, just the two of you in that room, all alone, happy. He pulled back and said, Thank you so much, Yuan. You don't have to take me, Katsuki. You guys decided to go on the date the following day, and you went to Mina's house for her to help you get ready. She did your makeup, and she did you a beautiful dress. You were so happy, and you felt that you were lucky. Some minutes later, Katsuki again picked you up because he knew you were staying at Mina's house to get ready. When he saw you, he was in a loss for words. He thought you were the most beautiful girl in the world, and that he just won the lottery on having a date with you. He said, Ready to go, Yuan? Of course, Katsuki. You guys went to this restaurant that was in the middle of the city. The view was amazing, and you couldn't complain. Katsuki was being a gentleman, and he said, Well, Yuan, what do you think? You said, I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you, Katsuki. He chuckled and said, The best only for you. You giggled a little bit, and you guys continued having dinner. It was perfect. You felt like every moment you spent with him felt even better. In this whole day, you felt with more emotion, more love that you ever felt with Izuku. And then, when dinner was done, he said, I want to take you somewhere. You nod your head, and you guys go into the car. You guys pull over at a beach, and then you guys start walking. The ocean looked beautiful, and under the stars, everything seemed like magical. Then, Katsuki stops and looked you in the eyes and said, Yuan, I should have said this before, but I'm in love with you. Ever since the first year of UA, I've been in love with you. But you got with a dumb nerd, and I never had the chance to tell you. But I have been in love with you, and I'll always be in love with you, no matter what. Do you want to be my girlfriend? You look at him. You were blushing a lot, a blushing mess. You approached him and gave him a kiss. He kissed back, and after a few minutes, you said, That gives you an answer, Katsuki? He shook his head and said, Nope, I want to hear out from you. You sighed and said, Of course I want to be your girlfriend, Katsuki Bakugou. It had been 3 years since then, and you and Katsuki were having a great relationship. Right now, you guys were an important part of your life. Your wedding. You and Katsuki were getting married. You were walking down the aisle, and the person that was walking with you was your high school teacher, Eraserhead, known as Mr. Izawa. Since your parents lived in America and couldn't come to the wedding, he decided to accompany you. When you were at the altar looking at Katsuki, when he saw you, he thought you looked stunning. He never thought this day would come, but it finally did. He was getting married to you, the love of his life, the person he was always right there by his side. He said, Yuan, you look beautiful. You blushed and said, You look not so bad yourself, Katsuki. Then, all the wedding ceremony started, and it was magical. Finally, you guys said, I do, and Katsuki kissed you. It was so perfect, everything you ever expected. Then you guys went to the reception. There, you had your first dance as a married couple with Katsuki. It was all beautiful. And little did you know someone was watching. You had invited Izuku Midoriya to the wedding. Since he was still your friend because you forgave him, you guys kept a somewhat of a friendship relationship, but not that close. You decided to invite him because you were inviting all your friends from high school. He saw you sitting down at a chair, dancing with Katsuki. He thought, that could have been me. That could have been me marrying Juan right now. He knew he messed up. He still loved you with all his heart, but your heart already belonged to someone else. And that person was Izuku's rival, Katsuki Bakugou. He couldn't believe it when he heard you guys were engaged, but he was happy for you. You already had your happy ending with Katsuki, and he was alright that you found love again. And you couldn't be happier, and he knew that. After the dance was done, you looked at your husband's eyes. You were so in love and said, thank you for everything, Katsuki. I love you. I love you too, Thomas. Never forget that. Then you guys kissed. You were so happy, and you were excited for the future to come as you already found the love of your life.